Hello guys and welcome back. You're watching the Camera 64 podcast and I am your host Alfonso Chavez, and as always we are coming to you from sunny San Antonio, Texas, from here in my garage as always, guys. And today on the show I want to elaborate a little bit on flash photography, why I consider myself, no, I don't consider myself, I know that I am a flash photographer, and given the chance I would 99.9% of the time use a flash just about in every situation. I genuinely have to stop myself from using flash if especially if it is a request from a client to not use flash, and it's very rare that that happens. Most of the time when people hire us, they generally hire us because they respect what we do and they like our work, so they allow us to do it how we like. But you know, sometimes that will arise, so we're going to get a little bit into that here in a second. But I want to invite everybody. We've had a couple of people currently become subscribers, which is really fantastic because I haven't had a chance to put out a video in a while. And so when I see that people are subscribing and I haven't even made any videos, it makes me want to jump on here like I am right now and create some new videos for you guys to let you know that I am here. Now, there's been a lot of kind of weird things going on, and photography for me personally has kind of come to a crossroads, right, guys? I'm in a situation where I'm just not making nearly as much as what I would normally make. As a matter of fact, this past year I'm currently doing taxes, and to put it quite bluntly, it even sounds bad saying it out loud, but I made half as much as I made just the year before. That's a huge drop, and it's not that I haven't been trying. It's not that all of a sudden we're not a good company anymore. It's just the economy right now is in the tank, and that's what I'm going to blame it on. I'm not going to blame it on cell phones and people not having parties and all that other stuff. I genuinely believe that people want to spend on photography, but they don't want to spend the amount that we charge. Now, people have not stopped calling us, okay? We get calls all the time. Our website, we take a couple of hits every month. Not very many. We get between 5 and 10 inquiries online through our website. And so those inquiries are still there, but I think that a lot of people are considering us to be priced out of their price range. They don't want to pay this amount when they can just pay this amount to a new photographer, and I get it. I understand it, absolutely. I have nothing against new photographers at all, because that's where we all started, right? We all started charging a very small amount and we worked our way up. So to people right now, $3,000 is a lot of money. They consider it to be a lot of money, and it is. I'll be quite honest. And photography is one of those things, people don't want to admit it, but we are a niche. Like, we're not a must-have, we're a want. And there's a big difference between a must-have and a want, right? If you're throwing a party, you absolutely have to have a DJ, right? You absolutely have to have a place to have your party at, and you absolutely have to have food for all your guests that are showing up for you. But a photography is a second thought. We're a second thought. I get that absolutely too. But enough about that, guys. I want to get into this video. So let's talk today. Oh, and one last thing before I get into it, I almost forgot. I need to get into the habit of doing this, but if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. If you watched the video to the end, if you would just give us a thumbs up and even drop us a comment below. If you want to hear me talk about something, I'll be more than happy to do that. Photography, I've been doing it for nearly 20 years now, so I can pretty much answer any questions that you might have or any concerns that you are not sure about. Reach out and give us those questions. So let's get into this. So top 5 reasons. I had to break this into top 5 just because people like lists, right? So let's do the list thing. Top reasons why using a flash will not only improve your photography, but I really genuinely believe that it's going to make you a much better photography for a lot of reasons. But let's go over the top 5. So the first one that I have here is control over lighting. So control over lighting is super important, guys. If you've been doing photography for any amount of time, you absolutely know that you're not always in control of all the situations. Now, here in my garage, I have absolute control, right? Because I have a light in front of me. I can put a light behind me. If I really wanted to, I could light up everything that's back there if I wanted to. And I could even put like those cool YouTube gel lights back there, purple, green, and yellow, and all that cool stuff. I can do that because I got full control, right? But on a day, especially if you're an event photographer like myself who shoots weddings and quinceañeras on the regular, you know that you just do not have control at all times, guys. Sometimes you're inside the church, sometimes you're outside of the church, sometimes you might get backed up into a closet at the church, right? Because the area where the bride is getting ready at might be tiny. It might be a 5 foot by 7 foot room. And in order for you to get any kind of shot, right, you're gonna have to pull out your super humongous like this, 11 to, what is this? The 11 to 24 millimeter and back all the way up into a small little closet. So do you think we have control all the time of our environment and even more so the light? Absolutely not. We have no control over that at all. So having a flash, it just opens the door, gives you options, right? It allows you to continue to do your work no matter what the situation is or whatever presents itself. And that, my friends, it's going to separate you, right? Because at that point, if you are a professional photographer like myself, then that's what separates you. That's what makes you a pro, is that you're able to handle those situations no matter what the situation is. Okay, guys? So that's the first one, is control over lighting. Number two is freezing motion. So freezing motion with flash, a lot of people do not understand this, and it kind of flies over their head. Now, I'll admit, this subject absolutely flew over the top of my head when I was first learning flash, because I couldn't make the connection that motion is stopped by light. So now I don't remember, don't quote me, I don't know what the speed of light is. You know, we've all heard it in the Star Trek on TV, right? We're traveling at the speed of light, sir. Now, I don't know what that number is, but whatever that number is, that is how fast your flash leaves your flash in front of your camera, and it extends all the way out, hits your subject, and then passes by them, and it's done, right? The light it moves that fast. So you gotta equate in your head the speed of that light determines the amount of motion in that picture, right? So if you have a dancer who's dancing, it's going to be very difficult without a flash to catch a dancer up in the air, unless you are in a very bright, sunny outdoor situation, in which case, yeah, that's possible. But if you're here in a studio, that flash becomes super important. And to equate this, it's kind of like being in a very dimly lit church, right? It's the same thing. Anything that's a very dark situation, you can consider a studio or compare it to a studio shot. So if the bride is walking down the aisle and it's super dark in there, because you are going to find those churches, trust me, if you haven't, eventually you're going to find yourself in that situation. Using a flash is going to allow you to stop that motion. And that is, my friends, the second reason why using a flash is so important, guys. It's so important for that, because because you're in that dark situation, you got to slow your shutter speed way down. So you could get away. I've done it myself, shooting 1/15 of a second, 1/30th of a second, which without a flash would be a huge no-no, because you're going to absolutely introduce motion blur without that flash. So that's reason number two. Reason number three is fill light. Okay. So fill light is also, again, another tricky concept to understand, right? So fill light, it's exactly what it says, fill light. So now the light that's in front of me, for instance, it's strategically placed to where the light is coming forward towards me, and it goes into my eye sockets, it goes into my lip area, it goes into my neck area, as you can see here. But that's not always the case, right? If you're in a hall and all the lights are shooting straight down on everybody, what do you think happens? It's the same thing that happens if you're out in midday sun, right? The sun is shining straight down on you, so light does not have any direction to go into your eye sockets and into your lower nose and in neck areas. And so that is what we call fill light. You're filling in that area. So even on a sunny day, using a flash outdoor is absolutely recommended, because you're going to eliminate all those really hard midday shadows. I cannot tell you how many times I tell people, if you're not going to use a flash, don't shoot in the midday, guys. You want to shoot either earlier in the morning or later in the evening, because the sun has a direction, right? It's no longer overhead, but it has a direction coming this way, which is super pleasing. But we can always create that with a flash, that fill light. So that was reason number 3 or a good absolute reason to use a flash in just about every situation. The third is creative effect. So if you've ever shot in the studio or spent any kind of time in studio, or like for me personally, I like shooting portraits at night on location. For me here in San Antonio, that's the Pearl. The Pearl's a fantastic place, but you know, if a lot of people go to the Pearl, everybody's gonna have the same picture. I think everybody can agree to that, right? So how do we make ourselves different? Well, we make ourselves different again by gelling flashes, putting flashes in spots that are gonna kind of create accents all over the place. So does the Pearl have outdoor lighting? Yeah, it does. They do. But are there beautiful plants that are not lit at night because they don't have a light directly on them? Yeah, that's the case. So it's not uncommon for me to go to the Pearl, set up a flash on my subject, set up a gel directly behind them, maybe go back 10 feet because there might be a building right here on this side, and setting up different colored gels from the one that's behind them on each one of those. So I've created a whole scene just by having 3 or 4 different lights. I can gel them, I can put snoots on them, I can do all kinds of different stuff. I can put umbrellas on them. I can put soft boxes on those lights in the back. I can, you know, there's just so many different options. You have a lot of ways to make your shots very creative and different from everybody else, because most people are just gonna have that main light, and they might have a hair light, and that's it. That's all, they're done, right? That's why shooting at night, for me, I really like, because it just opens the doors to tons of different options. Oh man, my neighbor's cutting some wood. I hope I hope that doesn't come across too loudly here. I hope he's done quick. So that's reason number 4, right? Creative effects by using flash. That's the only way you can do that. You can't have creative effects without having flash, right? and last, and I think to me is one of the most important things, is the fact that having a flash on your camera or using flash off camera just makes you look professional. It makes you look like you know what you're doing, right? Even if you don't. Trust me, when I had my first flash, I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but it looked cool. I looked good doing it. When I went and bought my first Godox 600, it's still up there here. It's very old at this point. Believe it or not, I can't believe that the lithium battery has actually lasted. I've had that flash now for 6 years. That flash still holds a charge, and it still fires right up, and it still flashes. Like I can get like 400 or 500 flashes out of it still. It's amazing. The Godox lithium batteries are just amazing. Let's just leave it at that. But when I would show up with that big old flash, not only does it make me look professional to the client, but that's the other part, I feel professional. Because I feel professional, I perform in a professional manner. I act in a professional manner. It makes me want to dress in a professional manner. And what happens when you dress and do all those things in a professional manner? Well, they treat you like a professional, guys. What a concept, right? We're doing professional work for professional, in a professional way. And people, guess what? People recommend professionals to other people. And they say, oh, this photographer, he's awesome. He wasn't awesome because his pictures were cool. He wasn't awesome because he had 5 assistants. He wasn't awesome because he drove a Mercedes Benz. You know, he was awesome because he was professional all the way around. He's professional the way he presented himself. He was professionally knowledgeable about photography. He dressed professional, and he looked like a professional photographer. If you think that that's not important, guys, God, you're missing the whole point, right? Every session, every event that I do, I dress for success, because it's basically an interview for your next job. So if you show up all ratty-tatty and you show up with just a basic camera with no flash on it, guys, what does that make you? Okay? This is what they're going to think of you. They're going to say, well, look, their grandpa's here, or Uncle Joe is here with his camera, or Aunt Josie's here with her camera. That's exactly what they're going to look at you as. And you don't want to be Uncle Joe, guys, not as a professional, not as somebody who's trying to secure your photography future. You don't want to show up like that, guys. You got to show up ready for action. You got to look like action, and you got to show up with the big guns. Now in photography, big flashes and big lenses, those are the big guns, guys. So get your head out of your behind and know that if you're going to go to a photo shoot or you're going to go to an event, you got to look professional. You got to look the part. You got to have the right cameras that make you look a certain way. The word professional means a whole lot more than just knowing what you're doing. You got to look like you're knowing what you're doing. So those are my top 5 reasons of why having a flash or using flash in your photography is so important, guys. Now you can continue to be a quote unquote natural light photographer. I have nothing against you if that's what you want to do, but just know, I want you to know as a new photographer that it's very limiting, guys, extremely limiting. You can only shoot in certain situations. You're going to do certain genres. You're just very limited. I mean, there's no other way to say it, guys. So that's been my show for today. I'm really happy that you, for all the people that are just joined us by subscribing below. I greatly appreciate that. And we're gonna make some more videos, right? More videos is the plan for Camera 64 in 2025. Hell, I'm not doing no pictures. Nobody wants to hire us because we're too expensive. Right? Well, then we'll make videos then. How does that sound? And if you want me to make a learner video, like if there's something you want to learn and would like me to do that, just drop us a message down there, guys. I'm not going to make nothing unless people ask for it. If you don't ask for it, I'm not going to make it. I'm just going to keep giving you advice like I am right now. So my advice for today, yeah, get you a flash. Learn how to use the darn thing, okay? And apply your skills to using that flash. Learn how to use it. Till next time, guys, you take care. I've been your host, Alfonso Chavez, and as always, we're here in San Antonio from here in my garage. Till next time, guys, keep shooting, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.